Hey guys, Moss50 here. My two most disappointing games of this year, and these aren't the worst games of the year because I haven't played enough games to make a definitive opinion on that. These are just my biggest disappointments. What games I expected more from, basically. And number two, we have Prototype 2, which I love the original Prototype, and there's just something about Prototype 2 that I just didn't enjoy it as much. I mean, I think the character was a bit worse than the first game's character. I much preferred Alex Mason. The graphics were just, whilst they were better, they were just sort of grainy and just extremely dull, and just it's not the sort of environment that you'd want to play the game in. The powers seem more limited. There's too much of an emphasis on stealth, so that is kind of going against what the original Prototype was about. The story was not improved in the slightest. In fact, I think they made it worse. And I'm only bringing that up because they said they were focusing on improving the storyline, which they did not do. Obviously, story is not the most important thing in a video game, but I'm just putting it out there. So yeah, Prototype 2, it was a big disappointment. It wasn't a terrible game. It was still a game you could get a bit of fun out of, but it was a big disappointment in my eyes. So yeah, Prototype 2 is number 2 for most disappointing game of the year. Number 1 is Assassin's Creed 3. Now this game, I don't know what happened with it. I mean, like, Assassin's Creed 2 was amazing. It's one of the best games I've ever played, Assassin's Creed 2. Assassin's Creed 3 was just, in comparison to 2, let's be honest, it was pretty bad. I was going to say it was shit, but I don't want to go that far, but it was pretty damn bad. I mean, the way they scaled back the missions was made it a lot like Assassin's Creed 1, which a lot of people hate on. Even though I didn't think it's too bad, but it was a lot more like Assassin's Creed 1 than Assassin's Creed 2 or Revelations, which I feel are the best games in the series. I'd say it's probably on the same level as Brotherhood, because Brotherhood was a big disappointment in my eyes too. Although I gave them the benefit of the doubt because I'd only been in development for a year. Assassin's Creed 3 has been in development for 3 years, and with that in mind, it should have been a much better game. Because let me just go through it. Like, the gameplay, there's a lot more escort missions, and there's a lot more sitting on benches listening to people's conversations. Remember that from Assassin's Creed 1? That was a piece of shit too. Yeah, so gameplay wise, it was not as good as Assassin's Creed 2, and also the combat was not improved. Story wise, well, I liked the way the story started, to be honest. I mean, Connor's dad was a neat little character. I did enjoy playing as Connor's dad for a while, even though the missions were pretty shit. But I mean, I enjoyed the character. And his story arc throughout the first few chapters. Then the first few missions with Connor I thought were pretty bad. I didn't enjoy them at all, more or less. After sequence 7, I believe the game started getting decent. It started picking up and getting more interesting, but at that like 12 hours or so and you're halfway through the game. Not 12 hours, that's an exaggeration. You've been playing about 6 hours and you're like halfway through the game. And they said you were going to kill Americans as well as British. I did not see one American die in this game. You know, I mean, not by my hand. I mean, Americans die in this game, but I didn't see one die by my hand. It was all killing British, from what I could tell, which Ubisoft swore would not happen. They said it'd be killing British and killing Americans. From what I could tell, we were only killing British. Maybe a few Spanish, but for the most part, we're killing British. That's just a minor gripe, though. The storyline for Desmond was awful. Like, the ending was just, oh god, I know so many people ranted about it on YouTube, but oh my god, it was terrible. The way they took Desmond's story, they just completely slaughtered it. So Yeah, I don't know. Assassin's Creed 3, I was massively disappointed by it. As I said, Far Cry 3 is the game it should have been. Even that had a better storyline, and the storyline for that was pretty weak. It wasn't weak, it was just not as good as well, it wasn't amazing, let me put it that way. So anyways, I'm getting off track. So Assassin's Creed 3, I was massively disappointed by it, so yeah, that's my disappointment of the year, guys. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. Don't leave me hate comments or negative. Yeah, just don't give me hate comments, guys, and just appreciate my opinion. If you guys have a different opinion to me, that's perfectly fine. You can let me know if you want, or you can keep it to yourself. It's up to you, really. But just don't hate on my opinions, because they are opinions for a reason. So yeah, guys, I will be doing my top 5 films after I see The Hobbit, hopefully, and I don't know if I'll be doing my top 5 worst films of the year, because I honestly just can't remember all the films. I need to start making a log of all the different films I've seen. But yeah, guys, that was my top 2 worst, well, most disappointing games of the year, so it's pretty much it. Moss50 signing out.